Hi guys and welcome to today's video. I have been filming a couple of like clear out videos. I don't know if I uploaded any because basically the last time I filmed one of these I got really fed up and I think I like basically gave up halfway through, which is a bit annoying. Today I've got a much shorter video to film, and also I just wanted to give you a little tour of my bookshelf, which is an absolute mess, so I need to get this sorted. We do also have other bookshelves in the living room where a fair amount of my books live, but it's kind of books that I either want for like the future, maybe for my children, books that I had as a child, or they're like cooking books or books that in the past I really loved but I don't really need on my shelf because this shelf is in my room. Before we get started though, I'll quickly talk about a few things because I feel like I'm going to get asked. My lipstick is Lady Danger by MAC. My nails are all red carpet manicure, they're all gel. I've done them all myself, and these are my real nails. I will link the video to my red carpet nail video down below. My t-shirt is from the men's section on ASOS, and then my jeans are Matalan. But I'll try and link as much as possible down below. So I've really been struggling to like tidy recently. I'm a very messy person as it is. Because in my head, like, I'm going to be home for probably a fair amount longer. I'm like, I can do it tomorrow, and then tomorrow comes, I'm like, well, I can do it tomorrow, and the weather gets good and I'm like, well, I'll do it when the weather's worse. The weather is like mildly worse today. It's still like 24 degrees. I am boiling. Basically I never get around to doing it, so I thought today if I do it in a video I will get this done, hopefully. I'll quickly show you what's on my bookshelf at the moment. I have my Jo Malone headers on the side because I don't know why they're here, but they are. All my other Jo Malones are up here. You can't actually see them, but these are living here. And then I have this little drawer with all my Polaroids. I honestly can't recommend Polaroids enough. They are amazing. And then again, I have no idea why. I then have one brow drawer here. So these need to move because it's just not working for me. I need this space. Not sure why my phone is here. Then I have just a whole bundle of books. Most of these I have read, and then I have junk which needs to go in the bin. This empty box which I wanted to keep to talk about on my Instagram whether I thought this was good or not. It didn't make any difference to me. And kind of like more junk I need to get rid of, and a pen pot and a plate. That all needs to go. This pile of books needs to go onto the shelf somehow. I obviously have to get rid of some, so I'm basically going to decide today what I'm keeping and what I'm not keeping on this shelf. I don't think I'm going to properly get rid of any of the books, but I think there might be a few that I'm just going to leave this shelf. And then these also need to go onto here. Actually, maybe not all of them because I don't think I'm going to put Harry Potter on here. Basically, these books, the majority of them anyway, there's a couple that are just my books that would just end up in here. I spotted them on like Facebook Marketplace, I think, or Spock or somewhere, and someone was giving them away for like super duper cheap. So I bought them. So they're all secondhand, and like some of them are in better condition than others for sure. Some are like almost perfect. I left them in my car for like a week and a half, 2 weeks, and then I brought them in just because of all that's going on. I'll quickly talk you through like what I've read, what I haven't read, what I want to read, that sort of stuff. But maybe what I'll do is I'm going to start by removing all of these and putting them down here, cleaning the shelf, getting rid of this. I just don't know why this is here, and I think we'll then go from there. Ow! And I'm going to time lapse that because it means I can open the window. It's a bit noisy out there, and I can put some music on, which I made a new summer playlist today, and I'm very excited about it all, to be honest. Okay, so that's them all down. It's my plan in my head. I just thought of it whilst I was clearing. I'm going to have my TBR here. On top, just really messily, if I'm completely honest, I'm going to put the books I've read that month because I like to keep them separate. All the books I've read I'm going to have in colour order. Actually, maybe just all the books that aren't on my TBR that I want to read soon-ish. I'm hoping that makes sense. I'm just going to go through and get rid of some out of here. Harry Potter I'm going to take out because I have never read Harry Potter and I would like to, but obviously for starters I'm not going to start with this one, which I think is like number 4 or something. But I'm just going to put this in the living room. I'm going to have to make like a little living room pile, and then I'm going to have to go find space on those shelves for these books, which is going to be insanely tricky. I'm going to put this in the living room too. It's Jay Rayner's Wasted Calories and Ruined Nights. I enjoyed this. I'm tempted to put The Great Gatsby there, but the truth is that I read this recently, and I think for my yearly roundup I'll probably end up looking for this, and then I'll be annoyed that I can't find it. All of these I've read recently, so maybe I'm going to put a pile of books I've read and books books I've read I'm going to put on my shelf. This, guys, this is... it's going to be very hard to find, but this is Dolly Alderton, Hopeless Romantic. I think this cost me like £5, but I think the money goes to charity. You can literally read this in like 15 minutes. I cried reading this. I absolutely loved this. This is her book with the Pound Project. They do great little books. Okay, so far these are the books that I have read. This is insane. This is what I've read this month. This is what I'm currently reading. I'm currently reading Everything I Never Told You. These are just other books I've read. This is what I haven't read, and this here is also what I haven't read. The only thing I would say about some of these books, like for example, I have Milk and Honey, which is poetry. I mean, I basically have read this. And then The Sun and Her Flowers, which I kind of have read, but I haven't read it like from like beginning to end. But I haven't read this from like start to finish. I've had a little flick through, and there's a few other ones that I just haven't really read. I've got Feminists Don't Wear Pink, Edited Life, just a few bits, but honestly it's like half fiction, I would say. I'll bring you close so you can have a look. It's a lot of non-fiction, but there is like some fiction bits. Actually, I don't think it is fiction. There are a few fiction bits here and there, but largely this is non-fiction. Well, it's not largely, it's about 50% non-fiction, which I kind of don't feel so bad about because I don't necessarily read non-fiction from like start to finish. And now I'm going to go through and decide what I don't want to have in my room. Okay, these I think are going to my living room. I'll quickly show you what I think I'm going to take out of here. Feminists Don't Wear Pink by Scarlett Curtis, and Edited Life by Anna Newton. How to Be a Grown-Up by Daisy Buchanan. The Trouble with Goats and Sheep. Being an Adult by Lucy Tobin. The Sun and Her Flowers and Milk and Honey by Rupi Kaur. And Bathe. All of these are gonna go, but some of these I do want. The ones I want, I'm just gonna put on my living room shelves. The ones I don't want, I either sell on We Buy Books. If they're gonna give me like over £1.50 and I have a fair amount of them, they'll go on We Buy Books. Or I put them in like local sharing shelves. So all around where I live, in like loads of tube stations, for example. Off the top of my head, I've heard Wood Green, Arsenal, Kentish Town West. Actually, I think both Kentish Towns. These are like North London ones. I've heard they all have sharing shelves. All Turnpike Lane I've heard has one. But equally, sometimes you just see them in the middle of the road and you're welcome to add books and take books. And I try to add to those as much as possible. So maybe some of these will go on there. Maybe some of them will go on We Buy Books, and the rest of them will be going on my living room shelves, but they kind of need to sort out too. And then these are the books I've read, which really doesn't look like very much, but last month I read largely books that I borrowed of people. These are the books I've read this month. I kind of want to keep these separate to the other books, but I'm not 100% sure how I can do that. I might honestly just make a little pile, and the pile on this side is the books I've read this month. It's a bit boring, but I think that's what I'm going to go with. And the one on top is the one that I'm currently reading. I actually have 3 books coming tomorrow. I don't want my TBR to be out of hand, but I think I'm going to go through these and maybe pick like 10 books for my TBR. I'll keep adding to that as I go along, and then the rest of them will just stay on the shelf. Oh, actually these can go over there too. I have Life Honestly by The Pool and The Modern Love by Will Derbyshire. Again, it's not that I don't like these. Actually, I might even have a little read through these before they leave these shelves. And also A History of the World in 21 Women. Well, I think I'd like to read this actually. My boyfriend bought me this for Christmas. He like tried to buy me like feminist books, I feel like. He also bought me Bloody Brilliant Women, and he also bought me, but I don't know where this is, he also bought me the other one. It's kind of like a kid's book about women. I can't remember what it's called. So this is my new TBR. We have 1,000 Splendid Suns. I've been meaning to read this for ages. It's a slightly longer one, so I feel like that's why I've been putting it off. The Librarian of Auschwitz, which I bought after I read The Tattooist of Auschwitz. I've had this for a while. I've clearly started it. I also have this as an audiobook, and I'm trying to get through my audiobook that I've purchased but haven't listened to. So this is probably one I want to read quite soon. Both of these I feel like have quite heavy heavy topics. So I'm trying to, especially because of the current climate, I'm trying to inject like other more positive books in there, which is why I've ordered a few like more happy books from Amazon. I'll tell you what I ordered actually. I have ordered, this is my first purchase in ages, Flatshare, which I think will be much more light-hearted, and If I Never Meet You, which I think will be more light-hearted, and Girl, Woman, Other, which I don't think will be light-hearted, but I'm really excited to read all of them. They're arriving today. So some of these are a little bit heavier, but I am going to try and insert some slightly lighter books. The Book Thief, which is just a book I've wanted to read for a while, but again it's a slightly longer one. I really seem to like war books, or The Light We Cannot See. I honestly think, I feel like maybe I'm hyping this up too much in my own head, but I think this could be one of my favourite books ever. I got this one from a charity shop quite a while ago. I paid £2 for it, but I am really looking forward to reading this. Oh, it's not too long, it's about 500 pages, but it seems a bit long, so that's why I've been putting it off a little bit. I Am, which is by Maggie O'Farrell. I haven't read any of her books. I think she also wrote one that's very popular at the moment. I'm sure you're all like shouting at your screen. She also wrote Hamnet, which everyone's reading, and she wrote Instructions for a Heatwave. I'm looking forward to this, and it's a little bit shorter than the other ones I've got so far. I have Hollyborn, How Do You Like Me Now? Very mixed reviews about this, but looking forward to it. I hate hardbacks though. Like, I can't explain how much I despise them. I guess currently I'm at home, I don't have to carry them around, but I just feel like they're so heavy and so much harder to read than a nice softback. On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous by Ocean Yong. I'm not sure how you pronounce his name. I am really looking forward to reading this. I find that I typically love like very beautiful writing over the storyline, and I think that might be what I'm going to get from this. I've never read anything from him, but I've heard all his poems. I think typically he does write poems, are incredible. My Dark Vanessa, again it's a hardback. I think this is a mystery or a thriller. It seems to be a very popular one, so I picked it up, and I am ish looking forward to it, but I haven't really explored thrillers or like mysteries that much. I've read a couple, but they were kind of like light, I would say, so I don't know if this is heavy or not. I'm going to read this soon. Oh, there's one more missing. What was the other one I was planning to read? It was just in my head when I said that. Oh, it was behind me. Then, oh, I think I might have 11 now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have got 11, but we're going to roll with it because I think I'll get through some of these quite quickly. Then I have The 7 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle, which initially I got confused with The 7 Husbands of Evelyn someone or other, such similar names. This is a mystery. Someone described this to me and it sounded like Cluedo. I think you're trying to find out who killed someone, and I think you're reliving that day from different points of view, which I again have not read a book like that, so I'm a little bit nervous that maybe it'll get repetitive, but I've heard good things, so I'm going to give that a go. And then the last two that are on my TBR are Paulo Coelho, The Alchemist. Paulo Coelho typically writes in Portuguese, which does appeal to me because I speak Portuguese. I guess he writes in like Brazilian Portuguese, but still it appeals to me. This is in English though, because I think I struggle to read it in Portuguese. I'm not struggle to read it, I struggle to understand, to follow it as well as I would in English. I've never read any Paulo Coelho. This one seems to be like the most popular one. This one just pops up all the time and I feel like it's a bit of a classic. However, I do suspect it's going to really not be my sort of book, but I'm trying to push myself out of my comfort zone. It's here anyway, so I think I might as well just give it a go. It's also so short. It's about 180 pages, but I think you could literally read this in a sitting. So I think I'm going to read it, but I don't know if I like it. I suspect I won't, but I want to give it a go just in case. I think you can hear the Hoover, but I'm just going to push on because hopefully the Hoover won't last too long. And then the last one I have on my TBR, although I have 3 coming tomorrow, is Homegoing. This is, I think, about 2 twins. One is sold in slavery and the other one becomes a slave trader's wife. So heard good things about this one, so I'm going to put this on my TBR. I think I'm just going to stack my TBR up here. Actually, there's too many here. I think I'm going to have to remove some because it's just looking too tall basically. And then the rest of them I'm going to put in colour order. Okay, this is what I'm going to read next, I think. So this is my finished bookshelf. I honestly think that it's not going to really work, but for now it's what I've got. I can't believe I've just accumulated so many books recently. These here are what I've read this month. Actually, I'm reading this. It doesn't really need to be in here. I'm just gonna plonk this on top for now. The issue is that I currently have this here, which is my TBR, and I really do like the idea of having a TBR, but once I've read these, I'm going to want them to go into here, and there's just simply no space here. So either I'm going to have to move my TBR somewhere else. I guess I could remove some of these books. And maybe I'll keep this bookshelf as just books that I've read this year or that I'm planning to read this year. I'm unsure. The other option is to clear this shelf up here, but the issue is that I have a lot of Jo Malones on this shelf. I have 12 Jo Malones on this shelf, and they're quite heavy, and I just don't really have anywhere else for them to go, so I'm a little bit unsure. But for now I think it looks great, and I'm so happy I've done that. I now have to find home for the other books that I am going to get rid of. I'm just not sure quite yet what I'm going to do with them. I literally have 3 other books coming today, which will be going on my TBR for now, but this just isn't quite working for me. I like it, I think it looks quite nice, but I just think I'm going to have to clear out some more space elsewhere, but I just don't really know where. I need to tidy my whole room basically, but I've just really been putting it off. I'm just not in the mood to do it, but I think the time probably has come, and sometime this month, I should be saying today, but sometime this month I will be doing that. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, a little bit different from me. I know this is my second book video. I think my last one was actually quite well received. I actually got a lot of comments, which was very nice. Do let me know what other books you think I should read. You've now seen my shelf, so you kind of have a rough idea of what sort of books I like. So do leave me recommendations down below. If you've read any of these, especially any of the ones on my TBR, then do let me know. Before I go, I will give a quick pan of my bookshelf. But do like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.